Here we go.
Happy Halloween. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Cookie Monster. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good one. Happy Halloween. Even though Halloween isn't until tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good one. I got a different costume for Sunday too. So we're going to get two different costumes, two different fits for you guys. Happy Halloween. John, what's going on, man? Thank you for all the super chatters as well. Thank you, Soul, for becoming a new member. I really appreciate you. Love you long time. Steven, are you here? Let me know that you're here because I don't want to break down your question if you're not here right now. Doesn't matter if I'm starting the Ravens D and A chain at the same time. No, it doesn't matter. You're at the comedy mothership in line? That's funny. Tell Joe Rogan I said, what's that? Tell Joe Rogan I said, what's good? You're being Meg from Family Guy? That's fire. I was a beekeeper with my wife, and she was a bee. I thought that was a pretty good costume. Pretty good costume. I feel like I look fucking... I'm going to get so hot wearing this thing. What's up? What's up, everyone? And are you here, Frank? Frank, are you here? Because the two super chat messages, I want to get you guys. Are you tuning into the Los Palos Halloween costume contest tonight, Steve? Of course. Of course. I'll probably watch it once the game ends. The Dolphins are playing tonight, so obviously I care more about that. But Los's stream thing is always so funny. It was. Give us some price tag predictions. Oh, you're here, Steven? Okay, I got you, bro. Just making sure that you were here because I didn't want to sit here and answer your question for like 5 minutes and then you not be here and then I have to just repeat it. Not that that would bother me, but if I was going to go crazy in depth with it, would prefer to wait. All right. Okay. Your question is, survey says, Diggs, T-Mac or DJ Moore, Caleb or Darnold? Thank you for the super chat. Now, for me, my problem with this question is the second part is just strictly based upon how safe you want to be, right? If you want to play Caleb Williams, I'm good with that. I have Caleb Williams ranked higher than Sam Darnold. I still deep down trust Caleb Williams. So if it's my fantasy team in that kind of a matchup, I would be playing Caleb Williams. I love Caleb Williams. But what I will say is there definitely is some inherent risk with Caleb Williams, right? Because we've seen the good matchups, right? We see Caleb get these soft serve cupcake matchups and him just be on the struggle bus and him not be able to play up to the ability that I think that he should. So I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is a bad play. I would lean with Caleb Williams. I have Caleb Williams as my quarterback 10, and I have Darnold as my quarterback 14. If you want to be safe, you go Darnold. If you want to be more risky, you go Caleb. I lean with Caleb. Again, though, it does kind of suck that Caleb just can't find any ounce of consistency. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason to why he can't be consistent. I thought last week was going to be a big game for him, and he struggled. But I would lean with Caleb. And then DJ Moore, T-Mac, or Diggs. I'm kind of just done with DJ Moore. I like the idea of stacking my quarterback with my wide receiver. But DJ Moore has just been so mid. The matchup is good, though. I think I would just lean with T-Mac up against the Packers. Just feel like he's going to get a very safe amount of volume week in and week out. So I'd feel the best with T-Mac. If Diggs was the clear alpha wide receiver on his team, we'd be talking up Diggs so hard, but we just can't. So for me, I would go T-Mac and I would go Caleb. Frank, I hope you are here. If you are not here, we'll just answer it later. You just let me know in the chat that you were not here. Hello, Nick. First league, Shaheed or Wandale, Prescott or Stafford. Second league, Tracy or Wandale, Drake May or Daniel Jones. Great questions there. For me, I would go with Wandale over Shaheed. I actually like Shaheed probably more than most people do, just because I think that the ability for him to be a big game type of guy is there. The problem really is just the offense as a whole holds him down too much for me to ever actually bang the drum for him and have any ounce of confidence that he will actually perform like we think he should. So it's got to be Wandale, even coming off of a slower game. Prescott or Stafford, I would lean with Dak Prescott. I know he played terrible up against the Broncos, but this week he's not facing the Broncos. It's a much better matchup up against the Cardinals. Tracy or Wandale, I would go with Tracy. I do think that, I was probably wrong this summer, right? When I said that Tyrone Tracy is better than Scatterboo, I think that was the wrong take. I think that Scatterboo is better than Tyrone Tracy. But also, when we saw Tyrone Tracy play at the beginning of the year, that was with Russell Wilson. That was with a much worse version of the offense. So with a supercharged version of the offense, I definitely like Tracy. So I would go Tracy, and then Drake May or Daniel Jones. That's another toss-up. I lean, though, with Drake May. So it would be Wandale, Prescott, Tracy, Drake May. Grindbird, thank you for the super chat. 8-0, thank you. No problem. I am appreciative. I am appreciative of the super chat, and I'm glad that you are 8-0. I wish I was 8-0 in any of my leagues. I would be laughing directly at every single person in my league if I was 8-0. But I'm not. I'm not 8-0. But maybe there's next year for me. But I do appreciate that. Bam, Williams, or Jones. Thanks, no problem, Frank. I'm going Bam, man. Say what you want about Bam. Nick Bam Knight's not that great of a running back. Nick Bam Knight's not very good. I know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Bam Knight's the second coming of fucking Rob Gronkowski. But what I will tell you, Rob Gronkowski, as if he's a tight end, right? I'm not going to tell you he's the second coming of McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, something like that. But he gets so much usage week in and week out. He has one of the easiest matchups for running backs on a per game basis. I am incredibly high on Bam Knight. The video is going to drop in like 20 minutes, my running back rankings. It's all on my internet. It's been done for like 2 hours. But yeah, I am a big Bam Knight believer this week. Look, would I bet my life savings on Bam Knight's future in the NFL? No, because I think after this week, if we were to see the other running back trade bets return, Bam Knight's going to go back to irrelevance. But right now, Bam Knight's banging the drum as the RB1 up against the Cowboys. I love Bam. Next question here, Emmanuel. Sup, Nick? P. Ryan or Jordan Mason if Stevenson is out? If Stevenson is out, I think I would just have to go with Jordan Mason strictly because I think Jordan Mason is a better player than P. Ryan. I honestly think Jordan Mason is better than Aaron Jones outright, but I don't think the team believes that. Your hope would be that Ramondre plays because Ramondre should be fine this week. But if Ramondre does not end up going, I think I would have to lean with Jordan Mason. I know P. Ryan absolutely exploded last week, but the odds he sees that many touches that he saw last week to me seems very, 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 very unlikely. Again, we see random players do great all the time, right? So P. Ryan having a huge game isn't all that surprising based upon how high scoring that game was. But when push comes to shove, I would lean with Jordan Mason. Soul Assassin, thank you for the super chat. Flowers or Harrison Jr., happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you as well. I love both Flowers and Marvin Harrison Jr. this week. Marvin Harrison going up against the Cowboys again. That's the kind of matchup that you just salivate over, the kind of matchup that just, you get sprung. Shout out to, is that Sir Mix-a-Lot, right? It's a game that is super duper exciting. But when at the end of the day, my trust of Marvin Harrison Jr. still really is not there. And my trust of Kyler Murray also isn't there. So this isn't like me hating Marvin Harrison Jr. For a lot of you guys, Marvin Harrison Jr. is in your lineup. He's a top 24 wide receiver. He's a top 20 wide receiver for me. And most of you guys are, chomping at the bit to have him in your lineup. It's T-Pain, my bad. Chomping at the bit for you guys to have him in your lineup. So I'm fine playing him. But for me, it would be Zay Flowers, man. Lamar Jackson coming back. I get the Dolphins defense locked up. They locked up the Atlanta Falcons and threw away the key. How likely do we personally think that is to happen again? Right? For me, I don't think that's very likely at all. I don't think that is going to happen. I think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to play very well tonight up against the Dolphins. And obviously, I hope they play terrible, right? I hope Zay Flowers doesn't do anything. I hope that Lamar Jackson looks like a blind man out there and the Dolphins win easily. But just because I hope something's going to happen doesn't mean that it will, right? And in reality, this feels like the kind of game where Zay Flowers pops off and scores like 30 fantasy points. If you want to be safer, I think Marvin might be slightly safer, but I would go with Zay Flowers personally. Neto, thank you very much for the super chat, my man. I greatly appreciate you. And every single week I look at that picture. I wish I had a picture like that. I'm going to be honest with you. Every time standing next to something like that scares the fuck out of me in all reality. I'm very afraid of heights, and it scares me. But it is impressive. Rodgers, Tua, Trevor, or JJ McCarthy. For me, in Superflex, I would go T-Law. Trevor Lawrence has been, despite the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars have been all over the place. They start off the season looking incredible. They've pretty much cooled down recently. They looked awful against the LA Rams prior to the bye in London, and still he was a top 14 quarterback. He's been a top 14 quarterback in 3 straight games. And again, while I'm never going to come on here and be a Trevor Lawrence lover, right? Anyone that's watched the videos for years know that I'm kind of more of a Trevor Lawrence hater. I actually think Trevor Lawrence is severely overrated. At this point, I guess he's properly rated, because everyone now is with me that he's not that good. But in a matchup up against the Raiders, man, the Jacksonville Jaguars need to get right. They just got smacked by the Rams. Not like a soft smacking, like a nice, slap on the wrist. No, this was a full-on Mike Tyson's punch-out level KO that they got. I like Tua. I want Tua to have a great game tonight. The matchup is there for him. But if Tua shit the bed in prime time, how shocked would anyone be? The answer is no one would be shocked, because we know how Tua plays in prime time. So for me, I'm going to go with Monsieur Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence would be my pick. All right. Droid, thank you for the super chat. 1 flex and 1 wide receiver. Javonte, Tracy, Rico, Tet, Wandale, T. Great question. 1 flex and 1 wide receiver. Now, what sucks is I want to play Javonte Williams and Tyrone Tracy. Those are guys that for most of you are must starts in your lineup. Now, again, everyone's team is different. Everyone's team composition is different. So I understand, right? He already has other running backs in. Javonte and Tracy and Rico are in flex consideration. So his running back core is probably very good. But what I'm talking about is in general, a general statement. Those are guys you want in your lineup, right? Javonte and Tracy. I think Tracy fills in very well for Cam Scatterboo, and I'm very excited to see what he ends up producing. But you have to play Javonte. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Javonte Williams scored 2 touchdowns despite the team looking like absolute bottom of the barrel dog shit last week up against the Denver Broncos. I expect the offense to bounce back in a big way up against the Cardinals, and I think that up against Arizona, Javonte could score multiple touchdowns. So you got to go with Javonte. And then at flex, I'm not too worried about T. Higgins. A lot of people may be more worried about T. Higgins just due to the fact that he only had 2 targets last week, 1 reception, scored the touchdown. The prior weeks, though, he was getting like 8+ targets with Flacco. So that's not a big downgrade for me. I don't really worry about T. But I think I would go with Javonte, and I would go with Tetero McMillan, man. Tet was so good last week with a bad Andy Dalton. I still think Tetero McMillan has the upside to finish as a top 12 wide receiver rest of season. The ability is there. Anyone that watches Panthers games, I know probably most of you guys, aren't watching fucking Panthers tape. The Panthers are not a good team. They're not even a fun team really to watch. But Tetero himself looks incredible. He looks open. He's making crazy grabs that are contested. If you took Tetero, if Tetero had like Mahomes or something, he'd be like a top 5 wide receiver. Like if Tetero, even give Tetero like 2023 Tua, the guy's a top 5 wide receiver. So I like T-Mac though. I'd go with T-Mac. I wish it could be Tracy and Javonte, but it's T-Mac and Javonte. And Flacco's out. Should I bench Chase Brown for Tet? Man, I get that, but the Bears matchup is too good to where I would still play Chase Brown. I think, look, Jake Browning wasn't good. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and act like, oh, Jake Browning was way better. You guys are just idiots, right? You don't know how to watch football, blah, 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 right? And just lie to you, right? That would be foolish to do. Of course, Jake Browning was terrible. He was garbage. But based on what we've seen for Joe Flacco, I'm just going to read out the most recent tweet. I'm pretty sure the most recent tweet was that he should be good to go. He's practicing today, throwing ahead of catches. Said Jamar Chase said Flacco looked regular at practice, didn't notice a difference. So if it's my team, I guess I would lean with Tet over Chase Brown, even in the great matchup. but I think Flacco plays. But if Flacco does not play, I do agree with you. I would go with Tet. Anthony Byers, pick 2, T. Higgins, Travis Hunter, BTJ. I'm going to be honest with you. Travis Hunter being banged up does slightly worry me. It's Thursday, so it's not DEFCON 1, worst case scenario, panic mode activate, break glass in case of emergency. We're not there yet, but we are knocking on the door of being there when it's Thursday. I would go with BTJ and I would go with T. Higgins. I don't think I have the cojones if Travis Hunter is healthy to even play both guys on the Jaguars, even in a good matchup up against the Raiders. I would rather just distribute my team to have guys on different teams. Not because I think it's crazy to have 2 guys on the Jaguars, right? Because if the Jaguars get back to how they were earlier on in the season, if BTJ and Travis Hunter live up to their hype, I mean, BTJ and Travis Hunter could be top 10 receivers simultaneously. They're that good of players. But as of right now, I think the smart move would be, in my head, to go with BTJ, who I think should bounce back. He was hurt in that game. So I would go T. Higgins and BTJ. Joe Gonzalez, thank you for the super chat. Travis Etienne or Rico Dowdle, full PPR at the flex. I love Rico Dowdle, man. I love what I've seen out of Rico Dowdle this year. The reporting from Dave Canales is so suspect, though. I don't know how many of you guys listen to, Dave Canales speak or you read what he says. It is so confusing at the running back position. You read the way that he words things is so convoluted. He can't just outright say, hey, I think Rico Dowdle's going to be the running back 1. He says, he's like, Chuba has earned the right to be the guy, but, we want to push further towards Rico. That's what it seems. The reason why they went back to Chuba is because Chuba earned the right to be the back. It's very confusing. And I think I would be lying to you if I said that this was something that was very clear. It's not. It's just not. It's very complicated. So for me, while I do really like Rico Dowdle, the smart move is just to play ETN. The Jaguars should be up in that game. They should be able to run late. I like Baishal Tootin, and maybe because they're coming out the bye week, that's when sometimes you guys see the rookies get a bit of a push coming out the bye week. But do I really believe that they're going to push him with how much they've given to Tootin? Probably not. So given to ETN, so I would just stick with ETN. Trade Andrews to get Tootin. Bowers is by tight end 1. That's a good question. The problem really lies with trading Andrews for Tootin is it's like, for one, you're probably never going to play either of these guys. So I guess it's fine, right? But if Andrews goes off tonight, you might be able to trade Andrews for someone better, right? Andrew gets Lamar back. So his previous bad production with other quarterbacks doesn't necessarily soil my opinion of him, right? That's not how I view it. So at the end of the day, I'd be fine doing it because I think Tootin could get more work, but I'm not sitting here, BF, being like, you demolish this guy, right? If you getting Tootin, you didn't swindle the guy. It just feels like a bench piece for bench piece type of trade where if you have Bowers and you're confident in his health, I'd be fine doing it. So yeah, I would be fine doing that. Joey Ford, thank you for the super chat. Trade Emmanuel Wilson for Coleman. Jacobs hurt, ? Josh Jacobs has been hurt for weeks. Josh Jacobs has been banged up for weeks at this point. He keeps being questionable in practice. I'm going to read his most recent report. And maybe that's why we saw Emmanuel Wilson get more touches last week. But my assumption would be he's managing the injury, the calf injury. He's going to play, right? I don't know why he wouldn't play. If he just keeps being banged up, he's just playing through the calf. And that might be why we saw more Emmanuel Wilson last week. I think that would be kind of the level-headed thought process through that would be we saw more Emmanuel Wilson because of that. Now, I like Keon Coleman. Actually, I would say that I love Keon Coleman because I think Keon Coleman's a great player. But how many weeks in a row are we going to see what we've been seeing? How can you possibly trust? How can you possibly trust Emmanuel Wilson? I mean, how can you possibly trust Keon Coleman? So for me, unless you feel like you desperately have to play Keon Coleman, I'm holding Emmanuel Wilson because if Josh Jacobs is just banged up like this and he's playing through the injuries, while if you have Jacobs, you're still playing him, that reeks of potential injury occurring to him. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I'd be a little bit nervous. So personally, if it's me, Joey Ford, I'm holding Emmanuel Wilson. Yes, Box, thank you for the super chat. 2 quick questions. Would you trade Rashad to the Bucky owner for Dowdle? And would you stash Ayuk or Jaden Reed in your IR spot? Great question. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like Ayuk or Jaden Reed. I ultimately think both of these guys are now just buried in a conglomerate of wide receivers that are talented, right? Ricky Pearsall, in my opinion, is better than Ayuk, but Ayuk got paid. So he is much more likely to actually get touches. So if I had to stash one, I'm stashing Ayuk because I think Ayuk could end up seeing a legitimate workload down the stretch of the season. Jaden Reed is like a deep ball merchant who I have been talking up for years, so it hurts me to say, but if Jaden Reed was ever to be good, I don't think it's in this version of the offense. This is a team that, to me, kind of just fails to truly commit to him. So for that reason, I find it very hard to believe in Jaden Reed. Even though I think like weekly, if you just wanted like a YOLO flex option, you could play Jaden Reed because he could score 40 points. But for me, I'm stashing Ayuk, and I'm 100% trading Rachaad White for Dowdle. Rachaad White might be more hurt than they're letting on. I mean, not Rachaad White. Bucky Irving might be more hurt than they're letting on. But if how I deciphered the tea leaves is correct, Rico Dowdle could be the lead back rest of season. And if that is the case, you're going to be very happy that you have Rico Dowdle. So I definitely would lean Rico Dowdle over Rachaad White and Ayuk over Jaden Reed. Paul Maestus, thank you for the super chat. You've got some cute dogs there. Got offered CD for A-Chain. PPR A-Chain schedule is nice. For me, this is very simple. How do you feel about your running back room? And how do you feel about your wide receiver room? Gun to the head. If I could have just one guy, I think I would prefer to have CeeDee Lamb because I feel as though CeeDee Lamb, having that guy that could be like a top 3 wide receiver every single week, it just feels very, very, very safe. I love A-Chain. If I was to rank these guys rest of the season, CD is like a top 8 guy. A-Chain's a top 12 guy. He's just slightly behind. A-Chain has been very consistent. I do worry slightly that while there's reports that the Dolphins aren't going to fire sale, if they lose tonight, they could be moving more pieces defensively. If they ship off a bunch of defensive pieces, that will be even worse than they are now. They will not be able to run the ball as much as they can now. And that could heavily hurt A-Chain. I agree with you that the schedule is nice. And based upon how you wrote this question, got offered CD for A-Chain schedule is nice. If the way you're writing it makes it seem like you want A-Chain, right? So at the end of the day, I always tell you guys to go with your gut, right? If your intuition that you want A-Chain, that's fine. Again, it's a very close split for me. If it's my team, I prefer CD over A-Chain. But if you want A-Chain, that's fine. Gun to the head, I would take CD. Non-PPR, Dowdle or Tracy and Debo or Monty? Great question. I'm going Tracy and non-PPR. Again, I want to trust Rico. I want the team to come out. I want Dave Canales to come out and be 100% all over Rico. Not that way, but you get what I mean, right? Just talking up Rico, being like, Rico's our guy. Rico this, Rico that. We love Rico Dowdle, right? Then I can sit here and be very confident talking up, oh man, I love Rico, this, that, and the other thing. But that's not the situation we live in. We don't live in the scenario right now where they are all the reports are all in on Rico. Could Rico go out there on Sunday and be the clear lead back? Of course. That is based on what I've read. That will be the case. But until we see it, I'm not doing it. So I'm going with Tracy, who I feel as though is the clear lead back. Look, say what you want about Devin Singletary. I don't think Devin Singletary is like a complete and utter fucking disgrace to the NFL as like a backup. If, with the situation, Singletary's fine. But Singletary, I definitely think that Tracy's the clear lead back. So Tracy over Dowdle. Debo or Monty? I would go with Debo. I think assuming Jaden Daniels is going to be good to go, that's the move that you would want to make because no Terry McLaurin. Debo should be able to score a touchdown. So I'm going Debo and Tracy. Debo and Tracy. YouTube won't let me buy a $10 super chat I put. Oh, I'm sorry. But it's okay. You don't have to send $10. You could just, if you were asking, like, if you have a different question, Paul, you've already super chat twice. Just leave it in the chat and I'll answer it. I really appreciate you. Don't anyone feel obligated also to super chat. I try to answer as many regular questions as well. The super chat questions only get priority just because, people are paying. And it would make me feel like an asshole if I wasn't answering the questions that people pay their hard-earned money for. So I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for watching the stream, by the way. Say this every year, every stream. It's truly crazy how many people watch. So thank you so much. One Dose Creator. Trade Dowdle and Ridley for Olave or Dobbins and Ridley for Olave. Dobbins and Ridley for Olave or Dowdle and Ridley for Olave. Okay. I would prefer to get rid of Dobbins. I would prefer to get rid of Dowdle. I like Dowdle. Okay. Again, I like Rico Dowdle. I want this to be very clear. I think Rico Dowdle should be the clear lead back. And this is coming from a guy that gave the Sukalamink special to Mr. Chuba Hubbard in the summer. Right? So I like Chuba Hubbard. But when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, I'm getting rid of Dowdle because I still don't have any confidence that Dowdle's the guy. I think Dobbins is the guy. RJ Harvey scored 3 touchdowns last week. Cool. All right. I think RJ Harvey's a good player, but the team hasn't pushed the chips in for him, right? They haven't went all in for him. So why would I think that he is going to be the guy? So I prefer to get rid of Dowdle. So I'm getting Olave. Get Ridley the fuck off my fantasy team. I am so sick of Calvin Ridley. I liked him this year. I fell for the trap again. I've been honey-dicked 18 years in a row on this guy. I always fall for the trap. I got him one time good on Twitter. Me and Calvin Ridley have a funny Twitter interaction together. I love Calvin Ridley, but I'm tired of him. So, yeah, get rid of Dowdle. Get rid of Ridley. Get Olave. That feels great. My running backs and wide receivers are in the chat. Please look up. Thanks. Okay, I got you, Paul. I got you, Paul. I'm going to scroll up and find it. I hope that it actually let you send it in the chat because based on how YouTube works sometimes, it might not have worked, but I'm going to look for it. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Here, let me just go on the actual YouTube and find it because I'm on StreamYard, which is where I stream on. Paul. All right. Yeah, Paul, the only thing I see in the chat is just your 3 messages. Do you have, if you're typing it out, the players, your running backs and your receivers, just put their last name and a space. Don't put any like commas or anything like that because sometimes YouTube chat just blocks it. And I am sorry because it's not me blocking it. It's just how YouTube works. It's super annoying. I talk about this all the time. It's super frustrating that YouTube does this, but it will block messages. And if you don't feel like doing that, and if you just want to screenshot your team, if you're in the Discord, I will send you the Discord link. If you're not, and you just tell me what your name is on Discord or Twitter or something, because I hate when YouTube does that, but it might just be blocking your messages. But I'm going to keep looking, Paul, for it, and I will answer your question. I appreciate the super chats. Andrews with Hendy for Monty. It's another deal on the table involving Andrews. Yeah, I'm doing that 100%. I'm doing that 100%. I think even like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that I love Montgomery. I don't love Montgomery. But at this point, if Ramondre plays on Sunday, like what is really the point in even holding Travion Henderson? Like he's holding my bench captive right now. I love Henderson, but they're not giving him the ball. They don't trust him. They don't want to use him. They're using other running backs that I've never even fucking heard of ahead of him. It's disgusting. It's frustrating, and I don't project it to ever get better. We're just in the same exact scenario every single week with this guy, and it never seems to get better. It never seems to get better. He looks good when he gets the ball, but they don't give him the ball enough. So, for me, I'm doing that. I'm getting Montgomery, and I'm never worrying about Henderson again. Now, maybe this is Henderson's breakout week. But if something was to happen to Gibbs, you have an instant league winner in Montgomery. If nothing happens to Gibbs, you have a running back too that you can start in a pinch that has the upside to score 20 plus fantasy points. So I'm doing that 100% and getting Montgomery. You will just feel so much happier. Your life will change once you get Henderson off your team and Mark Andrews. So yeah, I would definitely do that to get Montgomery. 100%. And Paul, if it's not working still, I'm just staring at the chat. Let me know, because again, I can't. I don't know why YouTube does this. Like, I like YouTube, obviously. You guys like YouTube. Clearly, you're on YouTube watching me, but I don't know why it does this. It's been doing this for years. So yeah, I do that trade for Montgomery. PPR flex Shakir or Sutton. I'm going Shakir. I'm going Sutton. I'm going Sutton. It's gross though. It's not working. Okay, Paul, do you have Twitter? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Discord? If you don't have any of those, I will just put my email in the chat. And you're going to email me. That might be the best way for you to get the question to me, because it's just hiding. Week 9 rank. It's just hiding it, because that's just how YouTube works sometimes, and it's not your fault. So don't get mad at yourself. And if there's anything I could do to fix it, I would have already fixed it. Everything on, I have no blocks on my stuff. There are no blocks. Everything goes through on YouTube for me. You can say some crazy stuff on here, and it'll let you through. All right. Let me know if you want the if you want my email or something. All right. And see, I'm considering dropping him. Who in the chat would really pick up Ridley if he was dropped? I would not pick up Ridley, and I love Calvin Ridley. I'm done with Calvin Ridley. I can't fucking stand him. He has pissed me off so much, to a point of no return. All right. Allen, Sutton, Andrews, Kraft, Vidal, and Allen. Yo, Nick, pick 2. Bill or Charbonnet? I would go Charbonnet. I'm done with Bill. I still think Bill's a good player. So, yeah, I still retain that was my love of Bill was correct. I still think Bill's good, but he's not doing anything this year. I don't think it's going to happen. Just go Charbonnet. Just go Charbonnet. Okay. ETN, Hunter, Stevenson, JMO, Marks, Bowers. I'd go ETN and I'd go Bowers. Oh shit, did I just ban someone that was a regular person? Oh my god. I hope I didn't. Shit. I was trying to ban someone that was spamming, and I hope I didn't just ban a regular person. I'd feel like such an asshole if I just did that. Shit. I'm gonna send the person's name in the chat. Does anyone know? Was that a real person? Or was that the bot that was spamming? Because that's what I tried to ban. Does anyone know? Actually, I could just go into the YouTube stream and then scroll back, which I'm gonna do. Jalen waddled away, waddle. And he waddled away, waddle. Till the very next day. Okay. That was a bot? Okay. That was the bot. Thank God. Thought I just banned a regular person. I would have felt so bad, dude. It's hard. It's actually, the amount of times I've probably accidentally banned a real person is probably high. But it was like always an accident. Basically, everyone's allowed in here. Though Spock or any of the other mods could ban people. I just do not notice. Yeah, it was the bot. Okay, thank God. What's up, Nick? What's up, man? Cookie traded a Dunze Higgins. You'll need my email. Okay, it's this. Just send the email and I will answer it. And I'm not gonna read your actual email out loud. But right. And let me know when you sent the email, by the way, because then I'll look at my phone to get the email. Trade Adunze, Higgins, and Warren for Judkins, T-Mac, and Harrison. Did I win? If you're getting the second side, I think you lost that trade. Not by a mile, though. I mean, I think it's close. Look, at the end of the day, if Henderson actually becomes something, anyone that has Henderson hit the jackpot. But I don't know if that will ever actually come to fruition, as sad as that might sound. Yeah, he will go ham after you drop him. That's just what happens, dude. That's how it goes. Addison, Marks, Hunt, Walker. I'd go Addison and Hunt. Start Keaton tonight. I mean, unless you are in DEFCON 72, you should not be starting Keaton. And I like Keaton. We talked him up last year. Or was last year's rookie year? Yeah, he looked good last year. And then he ended up getting banged up, obviously. And then that was kind of all she wrote. He got hurt. It was out for the season. He looked good, but I'm not starting. Like, I think it's more likely that none of the backs really do anything outside of Henry, and he just scores 7,000 points. I think that's the most likely scenario we have tonight. All right. Bo, Darnold, or CJ? Darnold. Watson, Trey Tucker, Slayton, Trey Tucker, and I would go Slayton. Goff or Darnold? I would go Darnold. No, I'd go Darnold. Yeah, Pickens or McMillan. I would go Pickens or McMillan. I would go Pickens. I'd go Pickens. Did it go through? Oh, you DM'd, you emailed it to me. I'm gonna check my email right now. And I hope I put my email correctly in the chat, because I don't have anything right now. Now live on your channel. Like, let me see if it's in the spam. Spam. No, I don't see anything here. This is my email again. Sorry if I. Hopefully I typed it in correctly. It's notoriousfntsy@gmail.com. I'm gonna check it on my computer too in a second. Starting Rodgers again. It could be a good funnel. You're starting Rodgers again? I think that's fine. I like Rodgers. I think Rodgers is actually better than a lot of people give him credit for this season. But okay, I got your email, Paul. I got your email. I'm gonna check that out in half a second. I got it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think Rodgers is fine. And I think Rodgers is actually better than people give him credit for. The problem is it's so hard, in my opinion, to see him finish as like a top 7-ish guy. Like, I think it's more likely that Rodgers is just like the quarterback 12 to 18 most weeks, where he just kind of keeps your head above water. He's good enough, but he's never truly good enough to where it's like, oh, I won my week because I had him, right? I don't think anyone by the end of the week is going to say that about Rodgers. Okay, and then I'm going to get the other super chat from Arav. Thank you for the super chat, and then I'm going to answer Paul's question. You read it out loud. Thanks. No problem. I will. I just wasn't going to put your email out there. I'm going to pull it up on my computer too, actually. And then I'll answer. All right, Arav, thank you very much for the super chat. Rav, I appreciate you so much. Hendy, ETN, Jalen Warren, Bam, Monagai, Harv, and Charbonnet. Great question. So for me, Jalen Warren and is close to a must. I like Jalen Warren a ton. I don't love the matchup for him, though, I'll be honest, but I would find it very difficult to sit Jalen Warren. So for that reason, he is a start. Bam going up against Dallas. Dude, any running back that goes up against Dallas is free money. So you got to go Bam. And then you got to go ETN and hope he bounces back. Even if Ramondre is out, I don't trust Henderson enough to start him over any of those three guys. If DeAndre Swift is out, Monagai would be in consideration to go ahead of Warren. But even then, I think I still lean Warren because I trust him more. And Kenneth Walker is in, so no need to play Charbonnet in your scenario. So for me, it'd be ETN, Warren, and Bam. So again, even if Ramondre is out, I wouldn't consider Henderson. If Swift was out, I would consider Monagai potentially over Warren, but still I would lean with Warren. So it'll be ETN, Warren, and Bam for me. Thank you for the super chat. So Paul's question is, he got offered CD for A-Chain. Can't decide because A-Chain's playoff schedule is so nice. My running backs are CMC, A-Chain, Henry, Hampton, who is on the IR, Woody, B-Rob. His wide receivers are Emeka Egbuka, Nico, Keenan, Jennings, Jameson Williams, PPR redraft. This is a start. One quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. So the fact that you can only play 1 flex definitely impacts my opinion on how you want to be doing things. If you could start 2 flexes, it would. I mean, you got CMC and Henry, who you're not sitting any of those guys. Your wide receivers, I think I would do it. I think I would get CeeDee Lamb because Egbuka's a must start, obviously. Nico Collins isn't necessarily a must start right now. And I love Nico Collins, but I wouldn't consider him to be like a must start top 12 option. So for me, I think you're gonna be able to play Hampton when he comes back too. So I'm doing this. I'm gonna have Egbuka, CD, and Nico Collins, and still have Henry and Christian McCaffrey and Hampton with the Woody insurance. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm getting CD based on your team composition. I would definitely do that trade. I'm definitely doing that trade and getting CeeDee Lamb. Definitely. And again, I'm not saying that if you don't do this trade, you're an idiot, right? Because that's not how I view this. Again, it's a very slight margins lean the way of CeeDee Lamb, but based on your team composition, based on the running backs you have, as long as you believe in Derrick Henry, that is a trade that I'm accepting instantly. So yeah, I would accept that trade, and I think you're going to be very happy about it. So yeah, I would prefer CeeDee Lamb over A-Chain. I think that's a nice win there for you. So thank you, Paul. I'm going to go ahead and get CeeDee Lamb. No problem, man. And I apologize that you weren't able to send the question in chat. Fucking YouTube, man. What's up, Daddy? What's up, Jose? Should I trade away Ashton Genty for Nico Collins? Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I don't know if I can do that. These websites don't even work, so don't waste your time, people. You know what always does work, though? Discord. That's where I answer a lot of questions on Discord with the Patreons, and then on the Patreon as well. And just regular questions on Discord, too. I go in throughout the day. Now, I will be in the Discord tonight during the Dolphins game. If anyone is in there, I'll be talking to you guys, just so you know, if the Dolphins start getting absolutely destroyed, you'll probably, I will not even say bye. I will just peer my way out. Normally, I stay throughout the whole game, share some funny messages with you guys, have a fun time. You guys say some funny stuff, too, obviously. The Discord is hilarious, but yeah, I'll be in there tonight. I'll be raging if the Dolphins lose, and I may just fade away if we lose really bad. So Spock sent the link. Make sure you guys are in there. It's a very good time with a lot of like-minded people, a lot of smart people, a lot of great people. They're saying, yeah. So I'm keeping Ashton Genty. I think both of these guys are very, very risky. I think they're both very risky assets. I like what I've seen out of Nico Collins so far recently. And I like what I've seen out of CJ Stroud. But even on a bad Raiders team, like outside of the last game, Genty put up a great 3-game stretch of games. Now I get 3 games is not a lot, I know. But he's looked good basically every game this season outside of last week. I think this is another question, just like Paul's, where it's also a lot just riding on how good are your running backs, how good are your receivers. If you like your running back room, like for instance, if you have Genty, but you also have like Achane, or you also have like JT, you have like Javonte, you have like a bunch of loaded running backs, then you just do it and get Nico. Otherwise, I think I'm holding Genty because, again, I just think inherently the deeper and deeper you get into the season, the more and more valuable the running backs are, unless you're in a scenario like Paul, where Paul had great running backs already, so he could afford to jump ship to CeeDee Lamb. So if it's my team, I'm holding Genty. Persian Assassin, I got offered Judkins and Egbuka for Irvin and Garrett Wilson. Thoughts? I have Gibbs, my other running back, and Mayfield is my quarterback. Great question. Man, oh man. So the way that I look at this is you are dealing with banged up running backs. You're trading a injured running back for another injured running back. And you're trading, Garrett Wilson is injured. Egbuka is coming off injury. This is one of those questions that is very tight, pause, right? Where I wouldn't say either way, either if you do it or you don't do it. This isn't like one of those spots where, assuming health, this is a smash, right? This isn't like a clear, you just took your league mate's lunch money. Your league mate looks like an idiot. Your league mate is a bozo. I don't think that, right? I think more than likely it means that, you know, it's more of an even trade. I think if it's my fantasy team, assuming that Bucky Irving is healthy, I want Bucky Irving over Garrett Wilson. I mean, I want Bucky Irving and Garrett Wilson over Judkins and Egbuka. And I love Egbuka. I love Egbuka. Oh, Spock, how is your road trip going? I forgot about that. It is, I believe, if I remember correctly, again, my memory is shot. I have a good memory for certain things. For instance, I can remember all types of random stuff about football. A lot of other stuff just goes in my head, out the other. I believe it is Spock's. Oh, it starts on Monday. Okay. It starts on Monday. Okay. I believe it is also Spock's birthday coming up, if I am correct, if I am remembering correctly. But again, I have a bad memory. Shout out to Spock, though. Okay. I would prefer to have Bucky Irving, and I would prefer to have Garrett Wilson. Happy early birthday to Spock. I would prefer to have I'm calling him Michael Irvin. I would prefer Bucky Irving and Garrett Wilson. I love Garrett Wilson, man. I just do. And I think the biggest problem with Judkins, and I don't think Judkins is bad play, but this is a team that can magically pivot back to do, like we've seen it. Even with Judkins playing well, the team kind of given a 50-50 game, right? Kind of not leaning fully into giving the ball 100% to Judkins. Whereas, once Bucky Irving is good to go, Bucky Irving is going to be the clear lead back on the Bucks, right? It's not like Rachaad White's going to be eating heavily into his touches, whereas that's what happens with Judkins. It happens some games. So I would lean with Bucky Irving and Garrett Wilson. That would be the part of the trade I like. I like Bucky and Garrett Wilson. November 13th. Very nice. Your birthday was on Friday the 13th, a full moon. That's awesome. Everyone remember, write down, it is Spock's birthday on the 13th. What day is the 13th? Let's see. 13th. My fucking computer is just crashing out. It is 2 Thursdays from now. It's not next Thursday. It's the Thursday after. So everyone remember to wish Spock a happy birthday, because we will be live on Thursday. So everyone's got to wish him a happy birthday. Josh Downs or Debo? Okay, Cameron Moore, thank you for the super chat. Start one at the flex. Dowdle, Marvin Harrison, or Wandale? Great question. Look, I wish I could tell everyone, start Rico Dowdle with confidence. I wish I could, right? He's got a kind of tough matchup this week, and I don't know for sure if he's the clear lead back on the team. Again, I think reading through the tea leaves, it indicates that Dowdle should be the guy. But again, when you're reading through the tea leaves, it's not necessarily 100% definitive, right? You might be reading incorrectly because the leaves are blocking you. You know what I'm saying? It's like going through Vietnam back in the day in all those movies when they have like the machetes out and they're trying to get through there just to step on some hole and get their leg blown off. So I think it is tough to assess Dowdle. I think a lot of you guys are going to play Dowdle. A lot of you guys might be bent over table for doing it, but I'm playing Dowdle in my home league. I'm going Marv. You're going to just rely on the matchup. I get Marv's been up and down. He's been high. He's been low. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bite the bullet on it up against one of the best, if not the best matchup for a wide receiver up against the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense is straight up cheeks. We saw Troy Franklin of all people, be the wide receiver one last week. So why can't it be Marv, right? Why couldn't it be Marv? It easily could. So I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. Maserati Marv. Defense, Ravens, Bears, Giants, Raiders. I would go Ravens. See, I want to be on the Bears. A lot of people were shitting on me for my take about me liking the Bears this week. I said that I thought the Bears, eventually one of these weeks, Flacco is going to go have a bad game, and the Bears defense has been pretty good. A lot of people were mad that I talked up the Bears defense in the defense starts it video, even though I basically said that they were a break glass in case of emergency stream, and people were still mad at me. But I would prefer to go with the Ravens, and you kind of just hope the Ravens defense is more healthy and Tua just shits the bed. Kelsey or Ertz, for me, it would be Kelsey just because I trust him more. Ertz has been pretty reliable this season with Jaden Daniels. We talked about it in the tight end video. He had a lot of big games with Jaden Daniels, and he just cooled down. He was just on ice with Mariota. We saw that last week. Him and Mariota just not on the right page, especially at the end of the game. There was a ball that if Mariota just could see into the eyes of the beast, right? And kind of just know where Ertz would have been. It would have been a first down. There was a couple of times like that. What Jaden Daniels that should be fixed with that side. I'm still going Kelsey. I mean, going up against the Bills, that might be the highest scoring game of the week. I'm worried about London. I'm worried about London a little bit too. Griffin, thank you for the super chat. Should I start Flowers or Olave? I would go with Olave just because there is so much safety with Chris Olave. That's not to say that Flowers is a bad play because, again, I like Flowers tonight up against the Dolphins defense. I think Flowers can full on light it up, but Olave should be much safer. I think that Tyler Shuck is much more of just the same, right? I don't think Shuck's going to be significantly better than Spencer Rattler. I think it's just, the same thing, different day. It's the same exact thing that we've been dealing with. Chris Olave is the clear alpha wide receiver on the team. He's going to get fed like that. Will they trade him after this week? I don't know. They could. This could be the game where they trade him, but I'm rocking with him 100%. I am sticking with Olave. Again, this isn't a Nick hates fucking Zay Flowers. That's not what this is. It's just I trust Chris Olave significantly more. So I'm going Chris Olave. You have Waddle 13, Olave 15. I have Waddle, I think 12, Olave 14, I think. Bam Knight or Gadsden? I would play Bam Knight. Make sure you guys are in the Discord. Looking for one wide receiver in a flex. Sutton, Wandale, JMO, Chase Brown, and Wandale. Chase Brown and Sutton. Thank you. I'm glad you like my outfit. I think I wore this for Halloween maybe last year or the year before. I have another fit that I'm going to be wearing on Sunday, but I'm not going to be able to wear it the whole time like this one. I had what's that guy named Sully from Monsters Inc. costume that I threw out. Should have probably just bought another costume for the stream, but I got this Cookie Monster one. It's pretty comfortable, honestly. Knight safer floor. Yeah, I think Bam Knight is very safe this week. I think this is also going to be Bam Knight's last go at it, right? Because I think Trey Benson comes back and he just becomes the guy. So I think he's going to be running nice and hard, pause, right? He's just going to be looking to get a big game up against Dallas. I have TJ Hawkinson, but the Vikings offense scares me, so I'm going to hold on to Mason Taylor. I agree with you. You should hold on to Mason Taylor. Hawkinson played poorly, to say the very least, with J.J. McCarthy early on in the year. The only time he really ended up looking good was with Wentz. And early on in the season, when he was playing bad with McCarthy, Jordan Addison wasn't even in the picture, and now Jordan Addison is. So that complicates things even further. Thanks. No problem. Make sure you guys on the Discord. Going to be stuck with Ramondre. Going to pray he plays. I think he will play. I do think it's very possible that they trade for a running back. That's kind of the rumor mill right now. That Ricky Scoops guy on Twitter tweeted that. Now, if you believe everything that Ricky Dog guy says, nothing against him. I think you're smoking some of that loud. I think you're a little bit crazy if you full on believe everything the guy says. But he has been right about a decent amount of stuff. And it wouldn't surprise me if how Ramondre played, if they weren't looking to just get another asset at the running back position. And the funniest thing next year is going to be Vrabel is kind of a rookie hater, which I guess I should have factored in a little bit more. When Travion Henderson is not free next year, but he's a much lower round pick compared to the price we paid for him, he might end up being like a league winner just at ADP, right? If you draft him in the 10th round or something crazy. I just worry about the Rams defense. I think the Rams defense is going to be good. But yeah, I get what you mean. Because of Olave's matchup. But they're really good against the run, the Rams. And obviously, Alvin Kamara just is not going to get anything going. So they're going to have to pass. They're going to have to pass a ton. And a lot of those balls are going to go the way of Waddle. The Dolphins defense actually is a rough matchup on paper for wide receivers. Believe the paper, don't believe the paper. Again, some of that stuff's a little fugazi because, like the Ravens are dog shit on paper for a lot of these matchups, but now the Ravens defense is more healthy. And now they've got Lamar back, so the defense is going to play harder. So I'm still going Olave. But if you look, Griffin, what I will tell you right now is if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I trust Olave, right? You should always go with your gut, right? That's kind of my opinion on things. I'll give you my answer, and at the end of the day, you kind of just have to go with your actual gut feeling because you will feel a lot better that way. Waddle or Olave? Waddle for me. I waited too long to sell him. I'm not going to be able to get anything for him. Yeah, I agree with that. Start 2, Ertz, Andrews, Pitts, Jacoby. I would go Ertz and Pitts. Need a tight end. What do you think? Let me know who's available. Let me know who's available because I think if I just start naming random tight ends, it just might not be super useful to you because there might be a tight end that's significantly better than I even name that's available because everyone's league is different. In some people's leagues, people just hold one tight end, right? A lot of my leagues, everyone just has one tight end. If someone's on bye, they obviously just cut someone else. They get a new tight end. Some leagues, everyone has 2 tight ends, and the tight end pickings are awful. So it really depends on your league. I will just name off a few options though, because we are getting a little bit closer to the start of the kickoff of the games. So at tight end here at the game, as if there's multiple games. So right now at tight end, in the range where I assume guys are available, like unless somehow Gadsden is available or like Pitts or Kincaid or Ertz, you're looking at tonight Mark Andrews. You're looking at Theo Johnson. You're looking at Evan Ingram, Dalton Schultz, Noah Fant, those kind of guys. That's who you're looking at. Trade away Amon-Ra St. Brown for Love and Devontae Adams. I have Nick. No. No. You can't do that. What Jordan Love is basically like a glorified streamer. And what I mean by that is he has the ability to be a top 5 quarterback every single week, but he doesn't need to, right? When you have Josh Jacobs, when you have Manuel Wilson, they don't need to air the ball out there. They don't need to, they don't need to throw it a million times, right? So while Love is a great player, I think Love is a significantly better quarterback than most people even give him credit for. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. He doesn't have to play like that to win. So I think the smart move here for you would be to just hold Amon-Ra St. Brown. Look, I love Devontae Adams as much as the next guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a league winner. You could just pick someone up more than likely that could produce similarly to Jordan Love for free and not have to get rid of probably the most reliable wide receiver in fantasy football. So that's what I would do personally. I would hold Amon-Ra. You won me my matchup last week, so I'm going to Olave. Okay, respect. Glad you said that. Not everyone's going to say that I won them their matchup. I try my best. Obviously, I do all this research, but, not everything I say is going to be correct. I assume most people know that, but some people don't act like that. Obviously, not the people that are in the stream, but like in the comments, they're a little bit, unruly. Unruly. Okay. Chupapi Munyanyu start Seattle D or Ravens D. I'm going Seattle. Look, I think the Ravens are a fine start tonight, so don't take this as, oh, Nick is biased. You see the Dolphins flag behind him and the helmet? See the Dolphins helmet? I need to get a bigger one. But yeah. I think the Ravens defense should be good tonight, but Seattle has been so good. Seattle has been so good defensively. So good. Defense 11, 3, 3, 5, 27, 5, 11. So top 12 defense every single week outside of one game. Now I get Jaden Daniels is a scary matchup. Like, look, I like Jaden Daniels, but let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Everyone knows that has been watching, the games. Jaden Daniels isn't looking great. And look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Jaden Daniels is washed. Jaden Daniels is a bum. Right? I'm not going to say that. He's been getting hurt. There was the contract holdout with Terry McLaurin. There's a lot of things that go into a guy potentially playing as bad as he did. But what I will tell you right now is, maybe Jaden Daniels might throw a pick or two in that game, right? And I just feel so safe about Seattle's defense. Whereas I know the Ravens defense should be better this week, but they've just been all over the place. So if it's my team, I'm playing Seattle. And again, this isn't like, I'm not trying to be like some Dolphins lover, because again, I think the Dolphins will lose tonight. I've already told multiple people tonight to play the Ravens defense. So I just prefer Seattle's. You got Seattle starting? Yeah, I'd stick it that way. You think it's going to be a shootout tonight? I mean, if the Dolphins want to win, if the Dolphins were to win, it would be a shootout. Or it's just going to be Lamar Jackson putting belt to ass and the Dolphins just doing nothing. And I think more than likely that's what's going to happen. Now, I hope that's not what happens. Last week, I thought the Dolphins were going to get blown out by the Falcons, and they ended up winning. So hopefully I'm just wrong and the Dolphins do win. But yeah, I would not. I would not definitely bang the drum so much for the Dolphins winning. Okay, I gotta put my DFS lineup in for my friends. Okay. All right. Back to the chat. Back. All right, all my lineups are in. Just making sure. And I got to check my redraft leagues too. Okay. Let's do it. Could probably do Devontae Smith for Marks or ETN 1-for-1. I think Devontae Smith just weekly, you just know what he is, right? You know what's going to happen. You are either going to be so happy that you played Devontae Smith, or you are going to be so fucking mad that you played him. He's kind of just a guy that I just avoided during the summer, and I feel like I was right for doing so. The upside's big, but I'd prefer not to have him. But I think if I had Devontae Smith, I would prefer to have Devontae Smith over ETN or Marks. Start one. What's up, We Buy Homes? This is a standard league. I think Flacco is going to play. I'm going Bam. Would you trade Marks for Smitty straight up? If you're getting rid of Woody Marks, I would do that. Bam or Algier? Bam. Yo, Scout is injured down to Bijan, Brees, and Bam got offered Warren for Keenan or Derrick Henry for Kittle. Backup tight end is Dallas Goedert. Oh, yeah. I'm trading fucking Kittle for. If you're getting Derrick Henry for Kittle, I'm doing that right now. If you're getting Derrick Henry. Start Dart or Jaden Daniels. I would go Dart. You got Smith in the 5th round. Yeah, that's around where he was going. I think you might have got a slight discount. It's hard for me to remember the exact ADP of every single player by the fact that we're already basically in November. So I don't have 100% confidence, I guess, in saying that that was around his ADP. Maybe he went slightly earlier than that. I just don't remember. I just do not remember. I do think Devontae Smith's a very good player, though. So that's kind of the problem with hating on a guy like Devontae Smith on like where I sound like a hater, because I do think he's a really good player, but it's kind of just the offense that is very. Oh my god, I almost forgot to put fucking Tua in. I picked him up in a league, in our subscriber league, and I didn't even put him in. Thank gosh that I checked. Is that a no to Allen for Warren? He said he won't do the trade till next week. I think that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I prefer to do the Kittle one. I just want to say you are hands down my favorite fantasy YouTuber. Hands down, nobody else does like you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really appreciative, and all those kind comments, they mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. I'm very appreciative. I am very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of all the kind words. So thank you so much. Traded Trey and Tajay Spears and got McLaurin. Wasn't aware of the trade. News for Jacoby X Pollard. Did I sneaky get fleeced? If McLaurin misses a serious amount of time, you may have gotten fleeced. But either way, I'd still rather have McLaurin. Let's go, baby. Fins up. Fins up tonight. Even though I think we're going to lose, it's still fins up, though. Fins up always, baby. Start Worthy or Downs. I would go Worthy over Downs. I know Worthy's been bad, but I'm going Worthy. Yeah, make sure you guys are in the Discord. Make sure you guys are in the Discord, and we're banning all these fucking accounts. You know what's funny? I make it so that you have to subscribe to chat, so all these bots keep joining, keep fucking subscribing, just to get banned by me. Get banned. All right, I think all my lineups are set. We're good to go. I have to start Tua in our Notorious Fan League 1, and you already know that's going to go bad. I got absolutely reamed last week because of Scatterboo getting hurt, and that sucked. That sucked really bad. Dolphin defense going to get like 50 sacks tonight. I hope so. I hope so. I just want a Dolphins win. I haven't bet on the Dolphins. I didn't bet on the Dolphins last week. So while I always bet on the Dolphins, I'm abstaining from betting on them. I'm going to make sure that I do not curse them myself. I will not be the reason why we lose. All right, where the fuck's the first? Did they get rid of first touchdown scorer? Fuck, where's it at? Where did that do? Okay. Do I start Kareem Hunt or Bam Knight or Travion Henderson? I would go Bam. Later, gang. See you, buddy. See you, Maine. I hate calling people buddy. I shouldn't have said that. Hunt or Bam Knight. Fitz, I'm going Bam. Dowdle, Diggs, Knight. I got to play 2 this week. I think I would go Knight and Diggs. But yeah, it's a tough question. Would you trade St. Brown for Josh Jacobs and Jawan Jennings in a standard league? No. And that's not me hating. That's not me hating on Josh Jacobs. It's just I just think if you're trading St. Brown, I need a really, really, really good running back to come back my way. All right, why the fuck is the first touchdown thing down? All right, I will see you guys later. It is game time. Thank you so much to Spock. Thank you very much for helping answer the questions in the chat. Make sure you guys are in the Discord. I'm going to send the link. Spock sent it like a million times. Copy, paste. Make sure you guys are in here in the Discord. I appreciate you guys for watching. Go Dolphins. Fins up, baby. Have a good one. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys have a happy Halloween tomorrow. And we'll be back with a video tomorrow, video Saturday, and then stream on Sunday. Hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. Hope you guys have a great time with your guys' family if you're hanging out with them. And I'll see you guys on the flippity flop. Have a good one. Peace out. Love you guys. Boy. Oh, wait, here, wait. We'll play some nice music. I wish we could play some spooky music. There's no spooky music on here. No spooky music. We'll just listen to some lo-fi music. I appreciate you guys. Love you long time. Go Dolphins. Peace out. Boy. No, I'm not going to stay on for the game. I'm going to get off because I get too mad and I don't want to fucking start screaming during the game. But, thank you. I appreciate you. See you guys. The Raiders. Goodbye.